free, fearless, and focused. Gonna charge your crystals up, man. Anyway, today we got a new one, man. We got a new one. Go hit them up with a like, subscribe. They got like 1 million some subscribers or something, like, so they lit. You feel me? Like, go ahead, show them some love. You know, I already follow, subscribe them. It's gonna be my little segment thing over here for these off of this one. But man, today we got a video, man. We got a video of this lady chimpanzee like tearing her friend apart, man. Like, we all know monkeys is strong and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know the genetics of these monkeys. You get what I'm saying? I think they have DNA and we have DEA. You get what I'm saying? They told us we have DNA. They told us we're human beings, but they are the human beings. The mammals are the human beings. We are the intelligent beings. You get what I'm saying? So, again, you got to unlearn, relearn. But we about to get into it, man. Again, a chimpanzee she bought for $50,000 ripped her friend apart.
911, where's your emergency?
Sandy, 231 Rock River Road.
What's the problem?
Police! Send the police!
What's the problem there?
The chimp killed my friend! He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
Chimp, my chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
He ripped her apart, hurry up!
With a gun.
Is the monkey still by your friend, or can you get close to your friend?
He's eating her! Please! God, no, please!
Okay, I need you to calm down for me. I know it's hard, okay? I know it's hard. But they're going as fast as they can your way, okay?
Oh, God, please!
Dogs, cats, and birds are often kept as pets because of the unconditional love and companionship they provide. These...
Oh, she said he was eating her? God damn. Come on, man. What do people really think about when they going to buy these exotic ass animals, man? That's a human being. A monkey is a human being. Do y'all not see the resemblance? How they were almost made in our image. They tried to recreate those mammals or human beings to be intelligent beings, and they're not. They have animal instinct. They are stuck in the root chakra, and they are stuck in this material world, this physical world. So they're always to be physical. They can't really use their soul or spirit to elevate themselves and evolve further. You get what I'm saying?
These pets commonly become beloved family members, but occasionally certain people seek out other, more exotic animals, attempting to tame and domesticate them as pets too. But how domesticated can these wild exotic animals be? Few owners would ever consider that their beloved pets could be harboring a dark, savage side, capable of inflicting horrific damage on people.
He looked like Caesar off of Planet of the Apes. Like, he's just ready to make his master plan and shit. Like, ready for making his escape. Wait till he find out and learn some shit. He gonna learn that, oh, these ain't my people. Like, oh, this ain't where I'm supposed to be. He gonna try to get the fuck up out of there.
And property alike. But for some exotic pet owners, when they find out the harsh truth, it's already far too late. What is up, Ewu crew? The shocking story we have for you today is wild, gruesome, and incredibly tragic. It's a warning to anyone who dreams of keeping an exotic animal for a pet. In 1995, Sandy and Jerry Harold sought out a chimpanzee breeder from Festus, Missouri, who ran a sanctuary. Though they themselves didn't operate a sanctuary, they wanted to buy a baby chimp to keep as a pet at their home in Stamford, Connecticut. The breeder, Connie Casey, bred a male chimp named Coco, who had been taken from jungles somewhere in the broad region of equatorial Africa in the 1970s. Before being bought by Casey for $12,000, and a female chimp named Susie, who had retired after being on display in a zoo. On October 21st, Casey called Sandy and told her, "Your baby has arrived. It's a boy." And to Sandy, the little chimp really would become like a baby to her. Sandy quickly set off to meet the baby chimp she had excitedly been waiting for. But in order to take the baby from Susie, Casey had to tranquilize the mother chimpanzee. The baby chimp was named Travis, after the country music singer Travis Tritt, who was a favorite of Sandy's. As a newborn, Travis was said to be covered in black hair everywhere but his pink face. Sandy had cried while meeting the baby chimp for the first time, when his tiny hands and feet grasped her own hands as she held him. Without hesitation, Sandy paid $50,000 in cash to Casey, and soon took the 3-day-old tiny chimp on a flight and then home with her. Much like a human baby, Sandy cared for Travis by feeding him his formula through a bottle, burping him, and even putting him down for naps in a crib. All the while, she and Jerry played with Travis and started to teach him to respond in English. They taught him to brush his teeth, much like a human, and even purchased an entire wardrobe for him, which they would dress him in every morning. He often wore baseball shirts and sometimes a baseball cap. As he quickly grew, he started to move around more, no longer satisfied with dragging himself around on the
Oh, I'm thinking she got a little no, she got a big ass chimpanzee. What did she think this chimpanzee was gonna be? A little bitty ass baby all his life? Come on, man. Look how big that motherfucker is, bro. Look how big this motherfucker is.
Floor. The Herald's house was large, but not equipped to satisfy a growing chimpanzee. They soon had to adapt their house to fit his needs. Much of their house became spaces designed.
This should have been the sound right here that you had to change or manipulate your space for this damn chimpanzee. That should have told you everything right there, man.
Just for Travis. Not only did they cage in a large room just for him, much like a bedroom, which was attached to an outdoor enclosure for him to access and outfitted with tires and ropes, but they also gave him a few other rooms all to himself, that he would be able to move about whenever he was alone. The couple had to put a lock on their bedroom door, but when they were home, Travis had run of the entire house. Eventually, though, Travis was sleeping in the Herald's room, and though they had given him his own mattress, he often ended up sleeping in bed with the both of them. Travis would even reportedly join both Sandy and Jerry in the bathtub. Sandy would later remark, "Until you've eaten..."
Wait a minute. No. Taking babs with the damn chimpanzee. What the fuck, see, bro? That's how you know some people ain't of this world. We are intergalactic, intellectual beings. You get what I'm saying? We came down here to experience this and just to woo-de-woo. But the people that's here, like, falling in love with all of these animals and this worldly shit, you get what I'm saying? They man, listen.
With a chimp and bathed with a chimp, you don't know a chimp. Travis ate all of his meals at the table with the Heralds. And as he grew older, he even began drinking wine with dinner from a wine glass.
Oh, they got
the Herald's entire lives became
They got this man drunk. That's why he flipped out and killed her best friend and started ripping her about and eating her. He thought he was in a ritual partying and got, oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Consumed with Travis, and they even began bringing him to their work with them. The Heralds owned a towing company, and there was a large room above their tow shop. They soon filled the room.
They had this nigga washing cars. Oh, hell nah.
With tire swings, ropes, and trampolines for him to play with as they worked. Sandy had a daughter named Sue, who had a young son, Tyler. As he grew up, Tyler would often play with Travis, much like a human childhood friend. Even though they were actually similar in age, Travis matured quicker than Tyler. And gentle Travis would often care for...
Bro, look at that tip, bro. That ain't no chimpanzee, bro. I'm sorry. That chimpanzee was around them too long, and he turned into a human, bro. He turned it into a human being. A human being is a being that is of this earth. You get what I'm saying? A human being is a being of this earth. You feel me?
For the young boy, he was known to hold him in his lap and give him kisses. The Heralds really did seem to regard Travis like a human child, taking him to the beach with them, teaching him to ride a bike, and even how to control a ride-on lawnmower. He would water the houseplants, feed the...
They had him cutting the grass. They got him out doing all the outside work, but they had him like a slave. Of course he was going to wake up and be like, man, no, this ain't how it's supposed to be.
Family horses, get himself a drink from the fridge and pour himself a glass, and even join them at restaurants. The Heralds appeared to believe that they had socialized and domesticated Travis, and that because they treated him like a human being, he almost was one. They didn't see him as a pet, but as part of their family. Sandy, in particular, viewed Travis as her son. Travis soon became a local celebrity in Stamford. The police were known to take pictures with him, and strangers would approach the Heralds to have pictures taken, sometimes even getting Travis to hold their children and pose. The Heralds eventually used him to advertise their business because he was so well known in Stamford. Sadly, Sue, Sandy's daughter, passed away in a motor vehicle accident, which sent the grieving mother into spiraling depression. The tragedy also resulted in her considering Travis to be her only remaining child. Travis took on the role of Sandy's child easily, and he accompanied the couple even more frequently. But though he often behaved as though he was human, the Heralds would soon learn they couldn't always control him. During a drive through downtown Stamford in October 2003, the Heralds stopped at a red light, and for some reason, someone threw an empty plastic bottle into the half-opened window where Travis sat. Travis's reaction was to grunt, unbuckle his seatbelt, open the car door, and knuckle walk across the road. While out on the street, Travis reportedly lunged at someone walking by, before he began climbing over cars and swinging around the street. The entire time he was smiling and hooting as the Heralds attempted to get him back in the car. Nothing they did could get him to calm down and leave, not even their usual bribery of cookies and ice cream. After some time, a dozen police officers were called to help wrangle the loose chimpanzee, but he saw the officers as part of the game and started chasing them. For 2 hours, Travis evaded capture by local police. He would enter the Herald's vehicle and then swiftly open the doors and jump out before they could lock him in. Finally, after tiring of his game, Travis climbed into the vehicle and buckled his seatbelt to leave. The Herald reportedly kept Travis contained in his room the next day because he had been grounded for his actions. Even though police all agreed he was being playful, it was also clear that the Heralds didn't have complete control over Travis, and that even the police had been unsuccessful in capturing him when he was loose. The incident received a lot of attention, and because of it, the State Department of Environmental Protection became aware of Travis. They determined that the Heralds were violating a statute which required them to have a permit in order to keep an exotic primate of Travis's size and weight. Despite this, they chose not to take Travis from them. Mostly because of his status as a local celebrity, and partially because they didn't want to appear cold-hearted and harsh. They also claimed that they didn't believe Travis was a threat to public safety. It is important to note that most of the Stamford police officers knew Travis quite well, and almost all of them had posed with him for a photo at some point, which may have influenced their opinions on the incident. However, an animal control officer named Lynn Della Bianca was very concerned. Officer Della Bianca came to speak with Sandy about keeping Travis, and told her that adult male chimpanzees were as strong as 5 grown men, and known to be unpredictably violent. Della Bianca also told her that because Travis was now an adult at this point, he had reached his sexual maturity, and in the wild, chimps would be engaging in some sort of sexual activity daily, sometimes even up to 50 times a day. Travis would have those same urges, but could become violent because of them. Even though Sandy listened to Della Bianca's warning.
That man couldn't release. Come on, man. It's gonna make any man angry. If you ain't released in a while. See, the good thing about semen retention or whatever is that you get to harness all your energy. Like, you're not giving it out. You get what I'm saying? It's staying within you, evolving, elevating you, helping you unlock your chakras and everything. You get what I'm saying? So them first 30 days is gonna feel like hell or whatever, but after them 30 days, you see and you understand. You feel me? That it's literally your energy. You get what I'm saying? Literally your energy. Like, you get done having sex, somebody either tired or somebody got a lot of fucking energy. Real talk.
Warning. She quickly dismissed the concerns, as she had never seen Travis display any kind of behavior close to violent. Still, Officer Della Bianca cautioned that Travis would live until he was 30 or 40, and she couldn't predict his behavior for his lifetime. Della Bianca later revealed that Sandy had expressed to her that she knew she wouldn't be able to keep Travis forever, and that one day he would have to go to a sanctuary as he would become harder to control when he got older. But Sandy had withheld the entire truth from Officer Della Bianca. 2 years prior, in 2001, she had been told by Travis's breeder, Connie Casey, that Travis's parents, Susie and Coco, along with another chimp, had escaped from their cages. On the loose, they had allegedly aggressively approached 17-year-old Jason Coates' vehicle. Coates claimed that he and his friends were trapped inside as the chimps bared their teeth and rocked the vehicle. Coates eventually broke free and ran into his house to get a shotgun. By this time, Casey had arrived and tranquilized Susie, but she was still conscious. Though Casey had begged Coates not to use the weapon, he was reportedly afraid of the chimp and believed she would attack. He shot her 3 times. Susie died 2 hours after the incident. After the fact, other witnesses came forward and said that the chimps were being playful and friendly, and Coates served a month in jail for property damage and animal abuse. But he still maintained that the chimps had posed a threat to him. What's more, there was an alleged incident in 1996 with Travis, where he had actually shown that he could be aggressive. Leslie Mostel Paul had seen Travis while he was in the Herald's vehicle, and asked Sandy if she could approach him to say hello. Sandy had said it was fine, but when Paul tried to shake Travis's hand, he grabbed her hand and bit her. The bite was deep enough that it drew blood. Paul later described that she felt like Sandy was more aggravated than upset about the incident, as if she was annoyed it had happened. Paul said that she had to get a rabies shot just in case, because Sandy took so long to prove that Travis had gotten his shots. Paul was so upset by the incident that she reported it to the police, but she was disappointed when the matter was never looked into. Later, the police would claim that they never received Paul's report. In hindsight, these glimpses of aggressive behavior were hints to the horror that would occur in the future. Regardless of if the Heralds believed that Travis was a threat or not, they still no longer took him out in public, as it was clear they wouldn't be able to capture him if he didn't want to be contained. Reportedly, the mayor at the time warned that if he got loose again, he could be shot. Trapped at home and no longer allowed to accompany the Heralds to work or on outings, Travis began to sulk and mope about being cooped up in the house. Around this same time, Jerry became incredibly ill with stomach cancer, and Sandy was spending all of her time with him in the hospital. Jerry began to worry that if he passed away, Travis would be too much for Sandy to take care of on her own. He even suggested that she take him to a sanctuary. When Jerry died on April 12, 2004, Sandy felt incredibly alone, And despite Jerry's worries, she chose to keep Travis with her. Travis also appeared to mourn in his own way, taking the pictures of Jerry off the wall and kissing them before holding them to his chest. He even started to take care of Sandy, filing her nails and brushing her hair when she sat crying. A year after Jerry passed, Sandy debated sending Travis to a sanctuary, even writing a letter to the owner, but she soon changed her mind and never sent it. Part of this decision was because Sandy and her friend, Charla Nash, a single mother, had reunited after Jerry passed. Sandy allowed Charla and her young daughter to live in a loft that she owned, and even offered her a job bookkeeping for the towing business. Their friendship seemed to save Sandy from the depths of her despair, and Charla often spent time helping Sandy take care of her house as well as Travis. Charla had experience with Travis, as she had visited quite frequently when he was younger, and he often climbed up her legs and shoulders and played with her blonde hair. Now that she was back involved in his life, Charla soon started making jokes that she was Travis's aunt, as she often took care of him. For 4 years, Travis never left the Herald property, and in that time, the chimp had transformed. He was 14 years old, and due to Sandy's inability to care for him as well as she once had, he had gained enormous amounts of weight, coming in at around 240 pounds as a result of eating only junk food, such as ice cream, popsicles, and fish and chips. He spent his time watching one of the 3 TVs all day, or playing with his own pet cat named Misty. Though Sandy appeared to be recovering from the devastating loss of Jerry, Travis's agitation grew over the years, and he was often irritable. It seemed that being cut off from the rest of the world and limited to only the house, in addition to the pain of Jerry's sudden death, caused Travis to lose some of the sweet nature he was known for. He was particularly surly on February 16th, 2009, just as Sandy was about to head out of the house to meet a friend. Sandy tried to calm him by getting him to color or draw, watch TV or eat, but nothing seemed to distract him from his agitation. She worried about him enough to put a Xanax pill into Travis's tea in the hopes that he would settle down. It didn't appear to be working, as Travis took her car keys and went.
What in the entire, universe? Come on, man. They made him pop a Xan, bro. He popped a Xan, and it busted his head. And he really thought he was a human. That Xan busted his head, and it made him intelligent to where he can go grab me. I'm about to go take me a trip. I'm about to go get me some food. Fuck that. I don't want nothing in here. I'm the man. I'm about to go bust a move. You feel me? That Xan bust his head, bro. What the fuck be wrong with people, man?
Out to the yard where Sandy failed to coax him back into the house. He clearly wanted to go for a car ride, which he was no longer allowed to do, and was pacing across the yard. Panicked, Sandy called Charla. Later, there would be a disagreement about whether or not Sandy asked Charla to come and help her, or if Charla had volunteered to come over herself. Either way, Charla arrived at Sandy's house around 3:40 p.m. and found Travis out in the yard. At first, Charla held up an Elmo doll she had brought to distract Travis. She held the doll over her face, but he reacted in a way she hadn't expected at all. Upon seeing her, Travis charged across the yard, about 35 feet away, running on his knuckles in a rage, before rearing up onto his 2 back legs right in front of her. Stunned, Sandy had shouted at him that it was Charla and for him to stop, but Travis didn't listen. Instead, he shoved Charla against her vehicle, where she then dropped to the ground. Seeing his sudden attack, Sandy screamed for him to stop, but when he didn't, she grabbed a snow shovel and hit him over the head. Despite Travis screaming as well, he didn't stop his attack on Charla, who was defenseless against the enormous animal. Sandy ran back to the house and grabbed a butcher's knife to defend her friend. She stabbed Travis 3 times, but he didn't even slow down. Allegedly, Travis paused only once to stand up and face Sandy where she stood petrified. He made eye contact with her before turning away and continuing his assault on Charla. Not knowing what else to do and fearing he would attack her as well, Sandy ran to her car where it was parked nearby, knife still in hand, and locked herself inside. She made a frantic call to 911. Sandy sobbed while screaming for the police to arrive. She asked for the police to bring a gun to stop her chimpanzee from...
Okay, so that's the 911 call we heard in the previous, in the beginning. But damn, that's crazy. I wonder what made him flip like that. Like, what made him flip like that? You know what? He probably thought Sandy, well, at this point, was his girl. It was his wife. You get what I'm saying? He probably thought he was taking this place of his dad. You get what I'm saying? After he died, and I mean that was his wife now, his property. He didn't want nobody getting close to her. You know they territorial. You get what I'm saying? All mammals, all animals is territorial, man. All things stuck in the root chakra is territorial, man. You get what I'm saying? They territorial, they possessive, they jealous, envy, all that shit is in the chakra, in the root chakra, and that's where mainly all this shit is reside at. You get what I'm saying? It's time to elevate. You know what I'm saying? Get to your Christ-like chakra, your highest point, your highest God-like abilities. You feel me? That's why we call you a God. It ain't no disrespect. It ain't no none of this, none of that. No, it's if you highly on the level of being respectable. You get what I'm saying? Creative, being respectable, creative, enlightened. You feel me? All of these: integrity, honesty, inclusion. You feel me? Diversity, safety, respect. These are all forms of your higher self, man. You feel me? I lost a lot of so-called friends and family on this journey to my higher self. I didn't want to be low no more. You feel me? In my root form, I had to get up out the dimension and get higher, get up there and get on one level with myself, which is the God inside of you. So, you feel me? People can sit here and say you don't know shit, you know that one shit, or you on this, you on that. By the end of the day, you know what you on. And I stay away from them people because they can't do nothing for me. They can't help me elevate and get to that higher point in my life. You get what I'm saying? They want to keep me in the root form, and that's not, because I know what I'm capable of. And I'm, with my God-given abilities, I know what I'm capable of. I took a gun from a little nigga before, tried to rob me. You feel me? Like, I ain't got time to be playing with nobody out here. Friends, family, whatever. I don't give a fuck who you is. It is what it is. Like I said, though, but it's your boy Innovative Plays. You know we stay free, fearless, and focused. Go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, share. You feel me? Go ahead, hit them up with a like, too, man. Hit their page up. There's more coming. You already know what it is. Yee.